And currently this session, I'm just trying to demonstrate to you the way I deliver the sessions so that you understand how the sessions move forward, and basically if you have any doubts or anything with regard to the CSSA session, you can let me know, right? Alright, so I think I was thinking that most of you must have already done with CSA, so I was thinking that I could take a topic which is very commonly understood as a difficult topic to understand, that is of agents. So I was thinking that I can teach you, I can quickly tell you what agents are, so that let's see whether you can understand it and catch up the things, and then decide whether we can do the course or not. Okay. All right. So without much delay, then let me just show you this. All right. So what we will cover in today's session is we will try to learn what agents are. Okay. And what are the different types of agents. So this is just a quick overview about it, not a detailed session. All right. So let's start with the word agents. Generally, agents in English language, what are agents? What is the first thing that comes to your mind whenever you say agents? So generally, the first thing that strike to people whenever you say something like agents is the people in call center who pick up calls and then do something, or it could be someone something like a background process that nobody has access to, or you don't know what is happening there. So in short, agents are a background process that just keeps running irrespective of whether we as Pega developers have control over it or not. So at the end of the day, we do have control over it, but consider agents to be something like a background process that keeps running, and which we can configure just once, and then after that it runs by itself. Okay, so in a normal sense, you would think the agents are people in call centers who pick up calls. Or in Pega terms, the way you need to understand agents are like background processes that keep running once you have configured it. Okay, so if those of you who are aware of or are in a Java background or in a Unix servers, they generally call us daemons, or you know, like something like ghost or something like that, right? So which without a human intervention, it keeps doing its work. That's what, there's no non-human intervention here. Okay, without explicit intervention, a background process.
Hello, Rahul. Rahul, the screen moving, we are unable to see anything. It's static.
I think.
Yeah.
How about now?
Now it's came. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so agents are nothing but something like a demons or ghosts. Without explicit intervention, a background process keeps running that updates, that we'll say that does some specific predefined work. Okay, right. Now it's as simple as that, right? So it's just a background process that keeps running. How I can draw an analogy for you is so that I can give you an example on other systems that can be easy for you to understand. So in Java background, you will call this as daemons, right? Within Windows also you can see services, right? So Windows services that keep running. If I do an MSC or if I just take a look at the Windows service, you can still see the things that keep running in the backend. Even a better, this one, for Google Drive, so there will be a background process that keeps running to update the drive folders. That keeps running to update the drive folder data. That's also an agent at the end of the day. Okay, so these are the things that, example, are analogous things in real world. Let's do things in real world. Okay, so that's all that there is. That's all that actually what agents mean. Okay, so as obvious as that, so there are again two types of agents within the system. So it's like subdivisions. So you have two types of this. One, obviously one that keeps running on a specific interval, runs on a predefined interval, and so this could be an example for this could be something like this. Say for example, I should tell the system that every Monday morning send an email to manager with the report on the status. Okay, so this is one type, so which is runs on a predefined interval. Okay, and this is actually called as an advanced agent, right? So yeah, it's called an advanced agents. So runs on a predefined interval. An example for this is every Monday morning send out an email. Okay, simple, right? Another one, and the type that we have, the second type that we have is called as a standard agent. Okay, so standard agent, which again it doesn't have it. Obviously, opposite of this, it's not running on a predefined interval. Rather, it runs on the data that it is fed. Okay, so this is, you can say that this could be told as a time bound actually. This is time bound. Right. The other one that we have is it is not running on a predefined interval. Instead, it runs on the data it is fed. So this is like data bound, you can say. Yeah. So more on this. So there is a queue item. So there is a queue. So queue, and data is fed into the queue. Right now, when this agent runs on that data, right? So if there is queue item, it will process that for a predefined logic. A good example for this I can think of the service level agreement SLA, which means that when a work object is so when a work object has reached its has exceeded or surpassed send an email to, right? So this is actually as simple as that. There are just two types of agents. So I think some people even may ask in interviews like, is there a third type? Yeah, there is a third type that's called as a legacy agent, but that's not important actually. So just for the sake of saying, we can say that there's a legacy agent, which is like, just know that is something, and the word legacy itself, it's for back, it's support old types, old or very support previous version agents. Okay, so you don't even need to know that that thing exists, or generally most of them don't use it anymore. Okay, all right. So let me just recap what we learned now. So there are two types of agents. So we have one, the first one here, this. So so we have the standard agent, right? And then we have something called as an advanced agent. So for standard agent, we should be able to relate to a queue. So which means it will be something similar to like this. Let me just show you an image here. So that it's a bit more, tad bit more clear. Let's you have items coming in. It's a queue, and you have items moving out of the queue, right? And this is a queue feed. Here, so you may have your expertise lies in if you want to use as agent. So it's in queue, and items come into the queue, stay there. The standard agent comes and looks at the queue, right? And then it says, okay, I have an item to process. It processes it based on the items in the queue. But again, we can restrict it based on time and all that. And then it goes forward. Whereas advanced agent does not have a concept of that. Instead, it doesn't need a queue. Irrespective of whether a data is present or not, it doesn't have it's not even tied up to a queue. So it'll just wake up as it's exactly like an alarm or something like that. Okay. So wait, processes are not really defined. Okay, so that's how generally you can distinguish between the two major types of agents, standard agent and advanced agent. I think in Pega 7, I think, yeah, so this is the main types of agents that you have to be aware of. Okay, now some more differences that generally from an interview and CSSA exam standpoint, you have like a whole list of things that we can segregate, like based on what is the security that we can give to each of these items. Let's just think over, like, if you have a standard agent, what could be the security aspect to this? A very good architecture that you can think of is the security will be the security of this queue item. The person who put the item into the queue, or the security aspect of this queue item is what is the security for that agent as well. Whereas for advanced agent, we have to specify the access group and security for it. Whereas for standard agent, it's already predefined in the queue item, so it will pick up that one. Whereas for advanced agent, we need to provide the logic. So that's just a couple of differences. This is one of the differences there with regard to security. So I'll just put it here. This is time bound. So we have time bound, then access group configured, right? So whereas this one is data bound, and you have a queue, then access of the data. Okay, and this is something like two most important differences that we can think of that we should be aware of whenever we have whenever we talk about standard and advanced agents. Now let's just open these types of agents and let's see how what things we can take a look at it. If you go to sysadmin, Okay, and there is something called as agent schedule that you need to be aware of, that I will talk to you in a bit. But yeah, at the onset, let us take a look at this one. So you have something like AIG claim update. So this is the application that we will be building as part of the course. It's called as the AIG claims application. It's AIG claims application. So alright, even before that, so here you have the mode. This is the primary difference whenever we say different types of agents. You have standard, advanced, and legacy. Okay, so by default, whenever we say standard, you have, we'll need to learn about auto queue management, all that as well. But this is the only place that you would configure what type of agent it is. Okay, and another one that we can think of here. So it's all, I think the ones that we already have are the standard. Advanced agent is a lot easier to configure, so you just give it advanced here. And yeah, alright, so I say test, or let's say sample put, right? So I have to say advanced, alright, so I'll just give this here. I'll just give the same activity, or I can give a different one. Send, right? I'm just giving some dummy activity just for me to process, right? So click save here, and that's it. So that is how. Okay, I think number of seconds between the queue. Alright, so let's say 30 seconds here. Alright, so this is the patterns that you can send for the activity. Yeah, but that pretty much sums up how you will have the agent. This is primarily the difference between a standard agent and an advanced agent. And you can give here a recurring option. In the advanced option, you can say the start time is like, generally you'll give monthly or weekly, and every week on these days. So say on Monday, earlier we had this option, right? Send on a Monday. So I will just say that every 10 weeks, for the next 10 weeks on these days, Monday, send out an email. Okay? So what the system will now do is it will just wait, this agent will just wake up and process it. Yeah.
Rahul, quick basic question. Actually, we saw the advanced agents, the difference between advanced agent and standard agent is mainly time bound and data bound. Whereas standard agent is data bound and advanced agent is time bound.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Here we both of them are in a way periodic, and in a way both the schedules are in a way time bound, right? It's periodic of 30 seconds, and advanced can also be periodic.
Yeah. So okay. So to answer that question, there are a couple of things that we need to understand. Assuming that this is the standard agent that we have, right? The first one here. Hold on. Show it to you here. Yeah. So this pattern that you have here, you see periodic, and you have some data here as well. Now, the way that this pattern works is different in standard, and the way that it works in advanced is slightly different. So what happens here is, even though you give a pattern here for this periodic, or you give periodic here as well, or you say you associate time to it, even then what happens is the standard agent, it will wake up. So the first step that it will do is it's a background process, right? The background process will become active. Then what it does is it will check if there is data in the queue. If there is data in the queue, then it processes it. Otherwise, it does not process at all. Whereas for this advanced agent, it does not have to check a queue. It will just wake up and it will just become active, and it will continuously process that or do that predefined activity. So basically it will execute this activity, this logic that we have written here, irrespective of whether there is data in the queue or not. Although it wakes up, we can say that this pattern, whatever we have, is just telling the system that become active at this point of time. That's what it says.
Okay,
Does
if
it make
there is
sense?
no data, it's going to process and just going to some return some empty results or something. The advanced, whereas
Not even empty results. It will not do anything. It will not do anything. So for the standard agent, if there is no, the moment this becomes active, that is what this pattern.
The standard is not going to do anything. It is just going to check the empty queue and just sleep again. But the advanced is going to go ahead and process and give a result whatever you.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what.
That answer my question, Sahil. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So that's it. So it wakes up and becomes active and does it. So any doubts there? So let's probably go over the rule form. Okay. So this is how generally the sessions would go. I would explain to you the theory with respect to real life examples so that it's easier for you to understand. After this, we will take a look at the rule form. Okay. So now a couple of things that we need to understand here with respect to the rule form. Slightly tricky thing on agents and agent, there are like two different things. So agents is the actual rule form that we have, which will have multiple agents. Okay, so you have, just to make things a bit more clear, so you have the rule form now. So you have agents, which is the rule that has, maybe I can equate that to a combination of multiple agents. Okay, so whenever I say agent, it could be the way we had now standard or advanced agents. So you have agents, rule form is going to have a combination of multiple agent. Okay, so I can have the option like this. So you have agent. So agents rule is going to have a combination. So agents with the S and the other one just agent. Alright. And important thing is now there are some restrictions here. Okay, so the first limitation, the most important limitation is that each agent, each rule set, and every rule set one agents associated with it. Okay, and that is only one is allowed. Okay, you can have only one agents associated to it. So which means that whenever I create a new agents here, say like this, I'll click on right click here, I click create. Yeah. So say here. Okay, say for example I will say that app one or I say that say for example process one. Say agents group one. Yeah. So it has processing app here. Click on create and open. Yeah, so it says this instance already exists. So although the label is different, the way agents work is every rule set can just have only one agent. Okay, so each rule set that we take can have just one agent associated to it. I was just showing it that to you. Okay, because this is my agent, and you see here I've given already the ID as processing app, and it has a rule set associated to it. Okay, so even though we have multiple rule set versions, if that's your question, even for multiple rule set versions, for every rule set we can have only one agent. So irrespective of the version, it doesn't matter. So here I have the same PC here. Say for example 199. I click on create and open. So for each version, you see here, I cannot change the ID. I can have a different agent set, but I cannot change the ID. So I should have the same ID associated with the processing app or the rule set here, but I can have different agents for different rule sets. Okay, so just to clarify that a bit here, can every rule set in Pega can have only one agent set, or to make it a bit more clear, every rule set version in Pega can have only one agent associated to it. Okay, so which means that an example for that would be, so I say rule set processing app 010101. This means that you have agents 1, agents, or I'd say the name of the ID of this will be something like agents 1, agents group 1, and I have say a rule set processing app 1, 2, services agents group. I can give it agents group itself, same ID alone, but I can have a different combination here. Okay, but obviously as per rule set versioning, this one would pick up, right? And I can have set say for example organization level AGI 1 group 2. So I can have a different version for at the end of the day, for every rule set version you have one agents group. Okay, so which we call it as agents, and with the S, so that's what we have here. So you have the agents here, you can give a name, so I say agent 1, and I will say what is the pattern, so when does it need to wake up. Should it wake up? This is an interesting one, startup, which means that whenever the system starts up, you want to do some predefined action, then you can just put it as startup. That means it will just run only once during a system restart. Another one is periodic, which means that it will every 30 seconds it will just wake up and do some action. Recurring is, you say like this one, so it says wake up at this point of time and then do some particular action. Okay, so this is all applicable even for a standard agent. So just to reiterate the point, this pattern or this probably this interval is just saying that once it becomes active, it need not guarantee that it will process it. It will run this activity that we give here. So the way that the system works is it will check whether there is an item in the queue. If it is there, then it processes, otherwise it doesn't do anything. I can give here another 2, and I can give here pattern. I can give here recurring, and then I can give here advanced agent. Right? So here I can give the class and the activity, and here as well as the class and the activity. So agent is another type of rule which needs activity is a must. Is a must have. Okay, so so the first important point that you need to understand here is point 1 is agents rule, combination of multiple agents, which means that every rule set version can have only one agent associated to it. Now second one, obvious, right? Why do you want multiple things? Because I can, within one agent's rule form itself, I can have multiple agent, standard or advanced. So there is no point in having multiple of them. Okay. Activity is a must to have. Now you give here the class, say for example for a demo I can just put here like my work class, And then I can just put some properties here.
So Rahul, what is data here?
Yeah, coming to that. So as of now, we are not seeing the data. So we have just mentioned that there is a queue, but we have not mentioned it anywhere to the system that which is a queue, where is a queue, and all that. That is not yet configured. Okay, that by default, the system would, the moment you select it as standard, in the background, the system makes this agent as a agent to automatically have a queue there. Okay, so so this is for standard agent by default. I think I put here. So I say here standard agent. You don't mention the queue by default. You don't, as developers, you do not have the capability to tell the system that I want to use this queue or a different queue or anything. So of course that is customizable, but that requires a lot of effort. So generally it's not recommended by Pega. So what you would do is you just let the system, the moment you make it as a standard agent, the queue is already there in the system. Okay, so I will show you that queue in a bit. So probably just all right, I can just show you right away. Hold on. So there is another tool called as SMA. So I don't know if you're aware of. This is called as a system management application, which is where we will be taking a look at the queue. So this is like something like an admin console in Pega, which has a lot of overriding capability and functionalities from other tools, from the other PR servlet that we can hit. So this is generally given to a Pega administrator who can clear the cache, who can look at the agents and all that. So here under the agent management, if you click agents, this is what we had. You can see all the agents that are running the system. Okay, so you can start, stop the agents and all this. All right, so this is where you control the agents. So agents slash see the queue items. So that entire thing is done as part of by using this separate console called as SMA. Okay, this stands for System Management Application. Alright, so here the way that if you take a look at it, you can see all the agents here. The moment you click on this, put the screenshot. Yeah, so the moment you click on this agent, it shows you this information. Alright, and the other thing is now your question, what about the queue? You see a pretty obvious system queue management. Okay, so you click on this and you see all the queues here. So you see scheduled this is actually part of auto queue management, which probably I explained to you sometime later. But here understand that we have the status here as for the queue items, the items in the queue, which is scheduled to be processed. If I click on details here, see all the queue items here. So now you can ask me like which is the queue for my agent. You will actually need to click on this. If you click on view, you can see here what is the agent name. Actually, you'll find agent name here. Second. Yeah, you see here update agent name. Yeah, this one, PY agent name. So this, so at the onset, if you want to look at the queue, you'll just have to come here and see all the items. Now inside scheduled, you will find the different classes of items. So you already, because you are pushing the items into the queue, now coming to this point of this picture here, so you may ask me like how do you push it? So this is the point from where you push the queue items into the queue and agent processes it and it removes it out of the queue. Now, in order to push an item into the queue, there are specific methods in Pega. So that again we will, once we start doing the practicals, and there's a bit of theory to understand there as well. Okay. Yeah, so let me just show this to you again so you can see here. So this, you click on this. System shows you different items in the queue. Okay. So you have, first you have this list here. So you need to understand what each of these items mean. Generally scheduled, most of it is self-explanatory. Scheduled, which means that the items which are yet to be processed, which are in the queue to be processed. Broken is, it has processed it, but it encountered an error, so it has broken it. It's gone to the broken. Immediate is something that is to be processed immediately. Now processing is something that is currently being processed by the agent. Success is just successfully done. Okay, so by default, the system, this is the queue item that we need to look at, the scheduled, which means that there are items within that which we will need to take a look at. Okay, so if I were to click here, and then I click on details, and you see all the items here. So just click view here. So you can see a lot of XML data here, which once we start doing exercises, you'll understand how it is used actually. So here, so yeah. Right, so this is how it will look like. So click on this, and then you see this. All right. So yeah, so this is the place where you see the queue items. Okay. Hope that answered your query.
So it means data means queue item, right?
Correct. So for the standard agent, whenever I'm saying that looking at the queue, it becomes active and starts looking at the queue, and then it just picks it up and processes it there. Right? Now you, as Pega developers, you will need to know how to push the items into the queue. Okay, a completely different thing that we need to learn. Queue. So this is like, quickly I can tell you there are like a couple of ways. One of them is a queue for agent is a method in an activity. Is a method in activity, and I think there is an out of the box push, and then there is an out of the box activity as well. To be activity to do that for us. We're going to push items into queue. So whenever you push items into queue, it just tells you which is the agent that you want to push it for, and you just give that, and I think we are good there. Okay, so once we start doing exercise, this will become more clear. This is like how to push items into queue is more actually a hands-on thing that you need to understand. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so that is agent's rule. We have activity is a must to have. Then another important thing of agents, here you have something called as, you can enable this agent, you can disable it. Now it's simple logic there, whether you want the system, whether that agent to be active now. Maybe sometimes you are developing it and you don't want it to be active right now, so you can just disable it here. Other than that, important thing is here the security. The access group here, because you have an advanced agent, you will need to give the security here. So the agent, whenever I was talking to you about security, right? So for advanced agent, it will come and take a look at this one here. Okay, so there are like, so yeah, so that's pretty much it, how it looks like the access group. Okay, And yeah, so nodes and schedule and all those things, like we'll again look at it, revisit all this once we reach this topic. Okay. All right. So currently this session was primarily to tell you how I deliver the content. So generally, I explain to you the things here. Then we take a look at the rule form. We try to understand what are things in the rule form. Once that is clear, then we go ahead and do an exercise. So you understand the concept, explain to you what is there on the rule, then we go ahead with an exercise. Okay, so I'll be showing you the blocks. Block by block, we will be building the application. The AIGI is an application that's already built. We can either continue to build this one on your systems, or we might, based on common opinion, we can build a new project altogether. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing that we would be doing in the session is initially in the first week, there is an exercise that I want all of you to do it. That is important for you to understand. I just want to see how confident you are in Pega. So this is an exercise that I give for my CSA batch. So generally, my CSA students are the ones who go on to do CSSA with me. So as of now, one of the batches on a break. So you need to be capable to at least build this application, which I do for my CSA. So this is a end-to-end application, which has like it's a very neatly laid out document with all images and screenshots of an application. It's a support application. So you need to build this entire thing so that in the first week you're expected to complete this. Okay, and all the time I will be explaining to you some theories. So you're expected to complete this application. After this one, this is somewhat like a mini project. After this one, we will be building our end-to-end project there. Okay, so basically, when CSSA will be doing two projects. One was a support app, which the first 1 week you need to be able to complete this. After which, we will start building this process app, which is the AIG claims app. Right? And if you guys want more projects, I can give you the specifications of the project at the end of the course, and you can do it during your free time and let me know if there are any doubts or anything. Right? And I will show you a CSSA class notes. Right, so this is the content that is generally covered in the course. So I think on agents we have, so every day after the session you will be given all the screenshots and everything, all this Paint document that whatever I'm building here, it'll all be shared on your class notes, and this Google Doc Drive link would be shared with you. You can take a look at it. So you see this is exercise. Sometimes I'll give you some homeworks, not on the initial days, but after some time, and you will have to do it and get back to me. So yeah, this is, again you see here agents. Yeah, you see here the different features, standard agent and advanced agent. And, yeah, you see here this is exercise, and depending on how exercise, if you guys are not able to complete the exercise in the class, I may give you some video recording only for the exercise, right? So for that, again, that again depends on the batch. I don't generally give the video recordings for the exercise, but yeah, I think for this one, I think I will be giving for CSSA. So these are the topics you see here. For each topic, you'll have like a short 2 to 3 minute video which explains to you completely about how to do that. See, this is for integrating with an external database, how a shared stored procedure is invoked. Then this is for a UI grid action, another one for access of privilege, correspondence, how to access SMA. So these are like already predefined videos. So these would be shared. So there's like a lot of videos here. So for each and every topic, there will be a video for the exercise portion of it, not the theory. So that would be shared as well. Okay. Then you have a common set of questions which my students, whenever they write the exam, CSSA, so I think a lot of students passed recently. So they share, you can actually, so these are like some standard dumps which the students keep updating. So you have access to these resources as well. Okay. Alright, I think that's all from mine, guys. So hope you like the session. In every course, generally my students generally have more requirements than what I cover in the course. So all that will be added up here on the class notes as additional request. So whenever you think that you have to cover some additional topics specific to your project, or something that you want to learn out of curiosity, so you can just put it up here as under additional request here. Okay, so you can just tell me and I would add it up here. And if any topic that you want to cover in more depth in the next session, you're always free to add comments to this particular topic here. You can just put some comment here, and so that whenever you're learning, you have doubt and you put the comment there. Alright, I think that's all from my end, guys. Can probably share this link, need it, but let me know how it went. If you have any doubts, I think we have another 7 minutes for the session to get over. So if you have any doubts, you can let me know. Okay, I think I've got some questions. Can we trigger the agent conditionally? So I think there was a question here. Trigger the agent conditionally, no, that wouldn't be possible. We will have to ensure that the agent wakes up at some particular point of time, and then we will have to write. We can do that in the agent activity itself, but we cannot trigger the agent to behave in a conditional manner or trigger the agent. That's not possible directly. So we cannot trigger the agent conditionally, no. Instead, what we can do is let the agent become active, then write your logic within that to process the data conditionally or not. Excellent. Okay, all right, I think that I'll talk to you later. Any other doubts on this that you guys want to clarify with me? Alright, I think there's no doubts or anything. I hope you understood at least in the onset what agents are. So generally agents take about a day or two to complete. So you have exercise, this is the way it goes. You have the theory, you take a look at the rule form, and then you start doing the exercise actually. Alright, okay then guys, I think that's all from my end. If you have any doubts, just drop me a mail or just let Ashok know. And I think we plan to start the session tomorrow itself. Right, Ashok, do you have any other plans? I think we'll start tomorrow, right? Ashok, you there? I think must be away from the system. Alright guys, I think that's all from mine. I think I might just log off now. And you can let Ashok know your feedback. And alright, if you want to give me a feedback directly, you can tell me if there is something that you think was not clear and we need to cover, we can do that as well. Alright, I think, okay, good to know that. Alright, I think So just know that Pega is not that complicated to learn, provided you understand things. So it's almost analogous to almost any other software system, because at the end of the day, Pega is also built on a Java technology. So if you have any simple understanding of a Java system, or for that matter any software system, you can easily draw similarities between that and Pega. Alright, I think that's all, guys. No further questions. I think I'll drop off. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Yeah. Thank you.
One last.
Yeah. Was there a question? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So in general, data means some records will be there in the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this part of course, are we going to look at the table structure of Pega, PRPC, OOTB rules, or only theoretical stuff?
Yeah, we would take a look at, because obviously when we start doing the exercises, there would be a requirement for us to take a look at the Pega OOTB tables. So we would look at the table, see how things are. Maybe not a complete walkthrough of all the tables, but if you want, I can do that. Generally, I think some students ask for that, some don't. So as such, in the standard course, I don't cover all the tables, out-of-the-box tables, but majority of them.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Good day, guys. Thank you. Yeah, Rajshekhar, I think you have some doubt. Can you hear me? Rajshekhar, are you there? Okay, so your mic is not working. Okay. All right. Good day then.